So do you want to see how we went from this to this? If so, stick around. So that's what we're waiting for?
That's what we're waiting on. Then I will close it.
Do it again. We weren't even recording. I'm so sorry. There you go. You did it, babe. You thought you didn't do it at first.
I wasn't sure about it.
Oh, look at that. I love it. Nice. You did it, babe. That's right. Woo. How you feel?
Relieved.
So there was no way that I could let Tom's work be overshadowed by just this builder grade stainless steel sink. I mean, we upgraded the faucet. Just naturally, we had to upgrade the sink. I told Tom immediately after it was installed, we now have to get a black sink. And he was completely on board. So I will say that this particular project was no easy feat, because you think it's as simple as just finding a sink, but let me tell you, it is not. Nothing ever is it? The thing that I would say as a word of caution is, if you want to change out your sink and you know this going into the build process, so let's say that your builder doesn't offer the color sink or the kind of sink that you want, and you happen to have an undermount sink, you might want to go ahead and make sure that your builder is giving you a rectangular cut. Our sink had a radius cut, which means that the edges or the angles of the rectangle are curved. And I do prefer the radius style cut or the radius edge, because it does make it easier for you to get all of the food out the sink rather than it being, caught in those corners. However, rectangular cuts are very popular right now. And so when it came to the task of finding a rectangular sink, most of them had those sharp edges. Very few sinks had a radius cut, and that was my difficulty, because you have to now find a sink that is the same size as that hole and that will also have the same style of angles. Another thing that made this particular project sort of a challenge was that we just had so many people tell us no. There were so many contractors that just said, no, we don't do that. And honestly, I started off calling plumbers, because you would think naturally it's a sink, call a plumber to do this. And there were so many plumbers that would say, no, you need to get a countertop contractor, or you need to call a countertop place. And then a countertop places would say, well, no, you have to call your particular countertop place that cut it and get them. And then when I called them, they didn't have the style of sink that I wanted, because again, I had to have a radius edge. And so there were so many people that did not want to touch this project. And I just, once again, just thank God for divine favor and divine connections, because that's when Marcos and Oscar crossed my path. And they have just been heaven sent, and they've been helping us with projects that have been too big for us around the house. Good job. Wow. My husband, trust me, I am so busy. Oh, now you gotta scrape it all off. Okay. Is there some type of silicone remover you use, like a liquid? Or you just gotta scrape it off?
Just a scrape it off.
Oh, okay. One place that was willing to do it was our local Roto-Rooter. I just wanted to use them as a last resort, because the quote they gave me, I felt, was kind of pricey. So I was definitely considering using them, but only as a last resort. So this part was scary. This is the part that I was waiting with bated breath, because at this point, I have no sink. And I brought a replacement sink, but you never know. you know, because you have to get those measurements just right. And I will say that this particular sink that I chose was a granite sink, so I knew that it would be thicker. The other sink was stainless steel. This was a granite sink, so it was thicker and it was heavier. And yeah, I'm busy, y'all, so let's keep watching. So Marcos and Oscar was able to get the sink in the hole, which was awesome, but there was some lip exposed, and they realized that these brackets were kind of getting in the way of the sink being pushed further back. So what you see them doing here is manipulating the bracket some so that it won't interfere with the new sink. You also want to take into account how far the lip extends where your faucet meets, where you see that hole right there, because you don't want the lip to come out too far to where now you can't put your faucet in smoothly. So you also want to keep that in mind. The lip is thicker. Oh, so that's been the issue, that the lip is thicker. You said it's like a ½ inch.
No problem.
That's right. I see. That's why I like you. That's how we get along. If it's heavier, will the silicone still hold it? Only solution. One moment, Mama. Mama, I will be right there, sweetie. So what's going on here is that you're hearing Oscar tell Marcos that, hey, we need to push this sink back more, but I can't because there's this border here. So in addition to the brackets, there's also just the counter. And the counter has like a wooden frame that basically stops at a certain point, and which means that the sink can't go back any farther. I think the other one had a little edge out too. Yeah, the silver one.
Yeah, because it's hitting the cabinet already. So
okay.
I cannot bring it this way no more.
Okay. That doesn't look bad. No, I don't think that looks bad. I think it looks really good.
Okay.
And the other one, I saw a little edge too.
Yeah, because what they did is they push it all the way to me.
Okay.
It's in the cabinet already. It cannot come this way no more.
Yeah, I see.
You see? You see?
Oh yeah. I think it looks great. So what is that, Oscar? What is that, Marcos, that he's applying?
He is applying the silicone. So the water goes outside the sink.
Got you. And you.
It's ready to install the sink.
Okay. So does this like stick instantly, like immediately, like glue?
Yes.
Oh wow, so you got to get it right the first time. That's a lot of pressure, Marcos. now he has to put in the brackets. You're gonna do wood brackets? Okay. Because this is a heavier sink.
Yes.
So you need something more solid. Okay. So when you are installing an undermount sink, it is important to know that there are 3 types of reveals. And typically the person that's doing the installation will want to do the 0 reveal, which means that your sink and your countertop are flush up against one another. However, a lot of times when undermount sinks are installed, there is a little bit of positive reveal, which means that the lip of the sink kind of sticks out. So you'll have your countertop and then you'll see a little bit of that edge of the sink. And then sometimes you also have negative reveals, which means that your countertop actually is a little bit over your sink. So maybe if you stuck your hand up under the countertop, you felt the underside of the countertop and not necessarily of the sink. If it's like that, you just want to make sure that you are cleaning where that negative reveal is as well, because you don't want mold and things of that nature to occur. None of these are bad, they're just different. None of it is wrong, it is just different. So I did get my sink from Home Depot, and again, it is a matte black granite sink. And I intentionally got it matte black because I wanted it to match the appliances that we are getting for our kitchen. But I still had to get these drain stoppers, and I purchased this from Amazon. No leaking. Bonito. Thank you for watching another kitchen makeover video. Let me know in the comments what you think about the black sink. Is it too bold for you, or is it right up your alley? Also, don't forget to make sure that you are subscribed so that you won't miss another house to home update. In the meantime, take your piece and give God the pieces.
You say